What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Black Appeal, the Apple Guy. Today we're going to be talking about the osee T5 on-camera monitor. Now this is my first actual camera monitor that I've ever bought. This budgeted around $125 and I got it about 3 days ago. Already unboxed it, but I haven't really had it. I haven't set anything up yet. This is my first camera monitor, so we're going to kind of go over the parts that you get with this and just kind of show you what the monitor is around or what it looks like, and then I'm going to show you how to actually attach it to your camera. So we're going to be using my A6400 for my test subject, so we're just going to get into this right now. So basically you get a simple, this is just a camera, this is just the obviously the manual, you get a service card, and you also get what is known as a sunshade. Now this is what you would use for your camera monitor. From what I read, it only has about 400 nits, so in terms of brightness, not pretty bright if you're going to be using this out in, say, very sunny areas where the sun's going to kind of be reflecting on the screen. You would simply use this. Now this doesn't come Velcro, it's actually it's kind of a strap, which I actually find kind of cool because a lot of the other ones that I was looking at, most of the sun visors or sun hoods, whichever one you want to call it, will come with Velcro, which Velcro just seems to, over time, as you take it on and off, tends to get loose, and then after a while it doesn't really stick well. I love this because you can simply just wrap it around it, and that's how that works. You also get a mount. This is also a cold shoe mount. You have two mounts actually. So you have the cold shoe mount, which is what you would use to attach to the camera itself, the cold shoe mount on your camera, and then you get an extra one on the side. And this is what you would use if you wanted to mount, say, a shotgun mic or a wireless mic, but this does give you that option of doing that. And then you also get 3 types of HDMI cables. So we're going to go over each one. So this one is your regular HDMI to micro. This is going to be if you have a Sony camera, which I'm not sure if all Sony cameras are like that, but I know that my ZV-1 and my A6400 use the micro plug-in to HDMI for this. You also get, I believe this is a full-size USB or full-size HDMI, and you also get, I believe this is a mini HDMI to HDMI, not to be confused with the micro one. It is a difference between the two. So you do get 3 of these, which is actually kind of cool. Just in case you wanted to use, or you had something different you wanted to plug it into, you get 3 different options. Now, the camera itself, this is the osee T5 camera. Now it is a 4K camera. Basically what that means, or I'm sorry, it's a 4K camera monitor. Basically what that means is that your camera can input 4K to this, but it's being displayed as 1080, so that's just something to take note of. We're just going to kind of go over it really quick. So in terms of quality wise, this is my first one, so I don't know what the build quality is of everything else that's out there, but in terms of, it's plastic, but it has a decent weight. It's actually not really weight. It's not really heavy at all. It's actually pretty light. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty light. You also get a lot of different features with this, or functions with it. So this right here, that is your red joystick. That's what you're going to use for selecting the options and the in-screen options that you want to add to your camera. This is not a touch screen. I know that there's some out there that are touch screens, but they were a little bit more than what I was willing to spend in terms of what I needed to do with this. And most of those that were touch screens were a little bit bigger in terms of screen size. This is a 5.5 inch screen. I don't really need a 7-inch screen. It's a little bit too big, especially for what I use for. But I do love the feel of the controller. Pretty simple, easy. Now on the back you have 2 battery options, 4 batteries. You get the Sony NPF batteries, which is going to be on the right side, and then you also get the option of using the Canon LPE6 batteries if you don't have one, or if you have both and one runs out of battery and you have both, you can simply just take one out and then use the other one, which is actually kind of cool. Unfortunately for me, living in Alaska, it's kind of hard to come by these kind of batteries, but I will be doing a much more in-depth review of this once I'm able to find a battery that I can get shipped up here. So on the outside, you again have 2 mounting points, quarter threads, one on the top and then one on the bottom. You also get on the top part, or should I say on the bottom part, you get a DC in. Basically what you can use, you can actually use a simple battery bank to power the a monitor. If you don't have batteries, if both of your batteries are out, you can power it that way. On the bottom you have a SD card slot. This is what you would use to upload your own custom LUTs. From what I've read, this already has some presets for it. If you have a Sony, there will be some presets for this as well. You also have what is known as a HDMI in. So basically what this would be is where you would take the HDMI from one end and you plug it into this, and then you take the micro or whichever you have for your camera, you plug it into that, and then that's how signal is sent from your camera to this. You also have a battery out, which you can use an external dummy battery if you want to power it that way. You also have a headphone jack there and a remote jack. Not really sure what the remote jack is for, but you have a headphone jack if you want to monitor the audio separate from just recording it. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to show you how to mount this to your camera. So if you have just pretty much it works with any camera. So I'm just going to show you what this looks like on my A6400, as well as showing you the cord or the HDMI cord that I'll be using to plug this into it. So again, if you have an A6400 or pretty much any of the A series, whether it's the ZB1, A66, 65, 64, this pretty much will work the same way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this and I'll mount it to my monitor. Pretty simple. And what I love about this monitor is it allows you to actually just simply screw the monitor in. And this thing has a function known as auto rotate. So depending on however you're doing your videos or whatever you're doing for a project, if you flip it one way, the screen automatically rotates, which is actually kind of cool. But when you do it, you just kind of have to make sure that you screw it in, because if you do move it, it does tend to unscrew this. You want to make sure you're doing that, or make sure you're being aware of that when you're doing that. So we're just going to take this, mount it onto the middle of my A6400. Pretty simple. You just simply slide it in, and then you would just simply tighten it down to where it doesn't move, and then that's it. So as you can see, it's like that. Now we're going to take my HDMI to micro HDMI. We're going to plug this into my camera and into the monitor. So take both ends, and you're simply just going to take this end, which is the big end, that goes into the HDMI in on your monitor, and it only goes one way. And once you put it in, you simply just give it a nice little push, and you'll know when it goes in. It's in. Now on your camera, you're going to have two different types of connections. So obviously, if you have that's your headphone jack, the middle one is your micro HDMI, and then that's just I believe just a regular multi plug-in for that one. So you're going to take your micro HDMI connection and you're going to plug it into the middle connector. And again, it only goes one way. Once it's plugged in, then voila, just like that. And if you have a battery for this, you simply just plug the battery in, and your power switch is going to be right there on the bottom. And you simply just flip that on right there. You flip that on, and then it brings you to the menu screen. Now again, I don't have a battery for this just quite yet. I am trying to find one, but living in Alaska does tend to make it a little bit harder to get lithium-ion batteries. But this is how you basically would set it up when you are using your 1ZT5 camera monitor. And again, depends on the situation how you want to do it, but typically I'll be using this to monitor what the camera is showing on the screen, so that I'll be able to see, if I'm in focus, if my color's fine, if everything that I need is done right before I hit the record button. And that is everything for this review. And again, I will have a much more in-depth review on this once I'm able to get a battery, so stay tuned for that. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, that way you don't miss content when I drop it. And that is everything. And again, my name is Black Pino the Apple Guy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe and enjoy your summer.